So this is just going to be a talking video, nothing cute, funny, or whatever, but this is a subject that is very interesting to me, I guess, because it happened to me. It doesn't really anymore now, because I don't care what people think, but I saw a video on YouTube earlier about DeGeneres talking about it's okay to be gay and to stop bullying. And I was kind of curious about it, so I watched it, and it really struck a nerve with me, so I decided to say a few words. In the video, I have it in my favorites, actually. There were some kids that committed suicide from being bullied, either cyberbullied or bullied in person, and especially about being gay. Since she's gay, she covered it. And whether you're gay or not, bullying still goes on. And I mean, I was bullied in middle school for being gay when I didn't even know what being gay meant, and it was horrible. It made my school years horrid. It made me shy. It made me not want to do anything. It made me want to stay at home, and it's very depressing. And especially when you're in middle school and when you're a kid, you're very sensitive. And what Ellen says in the video, sensitive is okay. I'm still pretty sensitive sometimes too, but I want to get on the fact of the bullying, especially in middle school, like the 11, 10, 9-year-olds, 12, 13. When I was in 6th grade, I had the crush on a girl, I guess you want to call it. I didn't even know what it was at the time. My mom did, and apparently so did everyone else, but I couldn't see it myself. And I was in 6th, and this girl and a bunch of her friends in 8th grade, they would tease me in the hallways and stuff and say things, and I was walking past one of the hallways in our school, and this one girl in her group, I was just walking by, I didn't say anything to her, she just looks at me and says, "Dyke." I didn't even know what that word meant. I got in the car actually that day and asked my mom what it meant, and she got mad. And she was in her slippers and her pajamas with her hair a mess and ran up there, and all those girls scattered like roaches. And she even went to the principal and talked to him about it and involved the girls in it or whatever. And that's part of what Ellen talks about on her video. And then when I was in 8th grade, one of my friends had moved back, and then the friends I actually had said that I acted like I was in love with her, and it was weird and strange, and they didn't want to hang around me because they didn't want me to be weird around them, whatever that means. So that really took a turn for me, I guess, and that's why I kind of didn't want to believe that I was gay to begin with. When I got into a different group of people with friends, I realized that it is okay to be comfortable with who you are whenever, if you ever figure that out. But also, there's the bullying for the kids that aren't gay, which is, if not worse, but just as bad. When I was in high school, there were a few kids that were a little slower than other people, and a lot of the jocks and popular kids, if you so want to call it, would make fun of these kids because they didn't quite get everything that went on or that we did or what normal life was like, and they would just, it was in a way that they didn't even understand, but the people that could understand knew what they were really doing, and a lot of people would just laugh at them and at the jokes they made at their expense, and that's not, you shouldn't treat people like that, the whole golden rule thing, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated, which I still stand by today. A lot of people don't, and it's just getting worse. There were other people that were in my grade or around my age that would still play Pokemon at school, like seniors and juniors. No, it may be a little weird, it may not be something that maybe you like to do, but it's something that makes them happy, and if cheering or playing football or going out and drinking every weekend makes you happy and screwing people over or whatever, go ahead and do it. Playing Pokemon is what made these kids happy. Being a nerd and playing WoW and playing whatever games on consoles or whatever, and when they would actually live out the games in real life. I thought it was weird, but I never really said anything about it. I was kind of mean when some things would come around. I will admit to that. I have done a little bit of bullying because I was bullied myself, and I thought that was just the way to do things, but it's not, and at all. I know I've been rambling about a bunch of stuff, but I mean, kids are committing suicide over stuff like this. Just for the fact that people that are popular may have more money than somebody, or maybe on the in group of stuff, are making fun of kids for things that make them happy. And who are they, or who is anyone to judge about what makes someone else happy? You don't know them personally or their lives, or if you do and you still do that stuff, that's a little bit worse. Didn't want to make this too long, but there's a few other things I'd like to cover. The kids nowadays that are in elementary and middle school, they have such a lack of respect and moral, just, I don't know. And I don't know if it's the fact that the generation now of when they're in 9, 10, 11, that age, their parents were teenagers when they had them, so they didn't really know what to do. And I'm sorry, this may be a sensitive subject and it may be a controversy, but I blame the parents of a lot of stuff, of the way that kids act nowadays. And that pisses me off, because it's like, if you're going to be stupid enough to not be responsible and use protection or birth control, or if you did and you just still wanted a kid as a teenager, and you're not going to raise them right, and I know my standards aren't right compared to other people's standards, but I mean, the kids nowadays just, it's ridiculous, honestly. Like, I'll say it, my best friend's little sister, she's 11, and she uses the word psycho a lot, and shut up, and she's just rude and hateful constantly, all the time. And if she doesn't get her way, she literally throws a fit. And you could be standing 2 feet away from her, and she'll scream at you, just for nothing. Just because you're standing in her way, and she'll scream at you to move the F out of the way. At 11 years old. I didn't even know what cuss words were at 11. When I heard people say them, I didn't know what they meant, I didn't know what they were. And they're having sex and doing drugs and drinking. It's like, and that is where all this teen mom crap came from, which is another thing. If you're a teen mom, I'm sorry, and you have a huge responsibility, and I give you my best wishes, whatever. But the fact that the way the kids are now, how they're going to be in high school, even in a small town like this, I don't think that many people are going to be very safe, I should say, mentally, emotionally, or even physically in high school, because I know there was a lot of people when I was in high school that still weren't. And I think this has gone on long enough. I've talked about a lot of things. I could actually probably make a 20+ minute video of this, but I don't think that'd upload very well. My main point is, treat people how you want to be treated. And if you're stuffing people in barrels and pushing them downstairs, or you're just making fun of them for the things that make them happy, who are you to decide what makes someone happy, and if it's sociably acceptable to your standards? Just because you're popular in high school or middle school, or even out of high school and middle school. I've known grown-ups to do this to each other, or even younger kids. Not everyone's opinions need to be stated. And I don't mean to sound contradicting there, since I am making an opinion video. But it's the common sense and the morals of just everything, and the lack of common sense and self-respect that people have nowadays is utterly ridiculous, and quite frankly, it's very sad. I think I'm actually going to end it with that, and hopefully this doesn't seem like a huge rant video. Thanks for watching.